welcome back to Agile Coaching Foundations from Digital Agility Institute. We are very happy to have you start your Agile coaching journey with us here. So, the next topic that we want to talk about is the 7 stances of an Agile coach. In the last session, we talked about the 4 disciplines of an Agile coach. Irrespective of which discipline you belong to, I think you would play one or more of these roles, or you would be exhibiting one or more of these stances during different stages of your transformation coaching for your teams or your business units or the organization. So let's try to head into the 7 stances. What are those? The 7 stances that we are talking about is number one, coaching, which is the foundation for our role as agile coaches. So coach is one of the most used stances within the agile coaching role and the responsibilities when you are executing. And apart from that, we are talking about being a consultant. You would, with your experience of a certain discipline, be playing the role of a consultant in different situations when the teams look up to you, when the leadership looks up to you for giving them the recommendations in certain scenarios, and we will look into that details as well. Then change agent. Yes, transformation is all about creating a change, making an impact, right? So what are you, how much experienced are you in managing the change and in delivering the change with great impact that we want to create as part of coaching teams or business units or enterprises on a transformation journey. Then you are talking about being a facilitator, and you will be facilitating a lot of discussions. You will be needed to facilitate a lot of workshops, lot of discussions, a lot of conflict resolution meetings initially when the teams are progressing through various stages of development. So facilitation is another great stance that we need to master. Then we are talking about being a mentor, right? In that again domain experience you carry, you would invariably have to mentor people on various aspects or various practices or various processes within the system, various tools as well in certain cases. If you are talking about something like a, let's say, technical mastery, then you are looking at you mentoring someone on implementing CI/CD pipelines, right? Or someone on AWS services, right? There could be a number of things that you can mentor people on. If you are a transformation coach, mentoring someone on writing user stories, right? That also could be another thing to look at. So being a mentor is another stance as well. And of course, last but not the least is the trainer, because transformation involves transition as well, right? So you are helping the team to take up new roles, take up new responsibilities, new ways of working, adopting various frameworks as part of developing that mindset and culture that is required within an agile enterprise. You would have to train them on various topics. So being a trainer is another one also. So those are the 7 stances of an enterprise agile coach. Okay, so first of the stances that we would be discussing today is about coaching. So as a coach, where all the coaching stance would come forth for us as agile coaches. The first opportunity could be coaching executives and senior leaders on enhancing their leadership agility levels, which essentially means one of the most significant significant aspects that could impact the outcome of transformation is the leadership agility and leadership participation. So, because that defines how well they are involved and how they are influencing the strategic agility of the organization, which in the end impacts the enterprise agility or the ability of organization to pivot. So coaching executives and senior leaders on enhancing their leadership agility levels is one of the major areas for exhibiting or using the coaching stance. And when you talk about leadership agility, we talk a lot about this in our ICP ACC program, or even the expert agile coach program, which we run, right? And that's an experiential learning program. Coaching executives and leaders on building leadership across diverse hierarchies within the organization. Now, distributed leadership is something which is very much essential for an organization, one, to accomplish enterprise agility, and also to be able to sustain the transformation in a longer duration, right? One, if until unless you don't have distributed leadership, which means leadership at all levels, then you will have to wait for the leaders availability or leaders being able to give you direction to progress further when you are in a situation where certain decisions are made. When you are talking about building leadership across all levels, means we are essentially identifying the people who have those leadership capabilities and giving them that or delegating that authority to make decisions. And as a leader, as a manager, we are guiding and helping them, coaching them, mentoring them, developing them so that they make the right decisions. They are developing that capability. It also means that you are building your next line of defense for the organization, and that helps in the organization sustaining the transformation for a longer duration, and they continue to do that because you are exhibiting that kind of leadership. Then again, as a coach, you are there to work with. When you are an enterprise coach, again enterprise level agile coach, you are expected to be working with the agile coaches, the scrum masters, even the leaders at a portfolio level or a tribe level or a program level, to enhance their competencies as well. When you talk about agile coaches and scrum masters, how do you help them so that they can go ahead and help other members in the organization? Then, as an enterprise agile coach, again, mostly when you think about the business unit level coaching or tribe level coaching or even at a team level, your concentration or focus is on the development teams, that is the technology teams, and the you talk about the business teams. But when you are moving to an enterprise coach role and that level, you are coaching teams which are not possibly only restricted to the development teams or delivery teams and the business teams. You are talking about coaching the HR people, coaching the vendor management people, coaching the risk management people, the regulatory teams, right? So talk about all the support functions which are there to lay the or equip the people or development and the business people to function in an agile mode. It's important that they are also agile. Think about a situation where people are and you know people moving in and out of organization is something which is normal. So think about a situation that one person resigns and the recruitment team is taking 6 months to get a replacement. That team cannot be agile, isn't it? Because You are waiting for another person to come in and share your load for probably 6 months. And that essentially means, or that necessitates, for the recruitment team to be agile. How can they recruit in an agile manner? How can they be more productive from their point of view so that they can enable the delivery teams to be consistently delivering value that they commit to, correct? So that is also another important aspect of coaching. The next thing that we talk about is the mentoring. That's the next stance. Most of the times what we see is, when you talk about mentoring, a lot of people relate to mentoring as probably completely hand holding people and taking them to the destination. Yes, that is true, but how you do it is something which is quite different to that understanding. That becomes kind of teaching or training. In mentoring, you are not training. When you talk about mentoring, you are talking about, if someone comes to you with an issue or a problem, right? You are trying to share your experience of how to do it, or how you have solved certain situations or certain issues, and then you are letting them define how they like to do it, right? How they like to go about addressing their problems, learning from your experience. Every individual is unique, and they will have their own way of managing things. So we are there to kind of give them that insights to say, this is something I have done, or this is something I have seen people doing in my experience, and let them figure out how it resonates, or which experience you are sharing resonates with them. And that, from that experience, what do they pick up, and then what actions they would like to take for them to get it resolved themselves. By that way, what you are doing is, you are not just trying to enhance their just skills. You are enhancing their way of thinking, way of approaching those situations, and that creates a lasting impact in their performance, right? And helps them to become who they want to be. And that is what mentoring is all about, right? So you will be mentoring people on diverse aspects, right? You would be mentoring people on, let's say, if you are a transformation coach, we talked about this on mentoring PO on writing user stories, mentoring PO on backlog refinement, mentoring the teams, let's say, on how to run a retrospective, correct? Why retrospective is valuable. So those are some areas, if you are a transformation coach, or even mentoring coaches on how to coach, let's say, the executives, how to coach the senior leaders in the organization, right? If you are a someone in a technical background, you would be mentoring teams on how to approach with a test driven development approach, right? How to use TDD, how to use behavior driven development, or even how to pair program with other people. So those are the things you might mentor people on, right? So each discipline will have its own way of mentoring, and that is where you share your experience. So those are the that is the second stance. Now let's look at the third one, which is our facilitation. So what is facilitation? Facilitation is about bringing a group of people with diverse opinions, diverse thoughts, diverse interests into a session, and help them converge their thought process, converge their ideas, converge their views to come up with a collective outcome they are looking to accomplish for themselves, right? So what is the outcome that group of people or that team wants from that session? And we as facilitators help them collaborate, we challenge them, we question them, we try to clarify what views they are presenting, and help them to converge those diverse views and opinions and thoughts to come up with a shared understanding of a problem or a shared understanding of a situation or even define shared objectives for themselves. So that is the facilitation, and it's a very, very strong skill to have. And the most important thing for being a great facilitator is to be neutral, which means when you are facilitating, you should never ever be putting in your thoughts into the discussion, your views into the discussion, or your agenda in that facilitation that you are conducting. If that is done, that means then you are not actually facilitating, right? So, which means a facilitator needs to be completely neutral without any judgment, without any bias, or if you have biases, you should be at least conscious of that bias and how it is influencing the conversation that you are facilitating, and then get back to that neutral state. That is the most important aspect of being good if at facilitation. You would be using facilitation in most of the discussions, right? In a team, when they are talking about, let's say, retrospective, when they're saying this is our learning, this is our learning, each person is telling their own learning from the sprint, or from that particular iteration, or from that particular PI, and then you start helping them to converge. Okay, what is that collectively you all are learning as a team? What are the three things that you think you want to take away and be better at in the next sprint or next iteration or next PI? So you as a coach are looking to play that facilitator role more often than not. That would be kind of a, a default role for a coach, to be the facilitator, and then think about what hat you need to wear, right? So that is about facilitation. So in this session or in this video, we talked about what are the seven stances that we are looking to play, as looking to embrace or exhibit as an enterprise agile coach. And we talked about what coaching is, where coaching is used, and what mentoring is, where mentoring is used, and what facilitation is, and where facilitation is used. In the next video, we will look to focus on the rest of the four stances, that is our being a trainer, being a consultant, being a change agent, and of course the most important one, being a leader. We look at focusing on all the four other stances in your next video. So I hope you are learning a great deal from these sessions and enjoying these sessions with the reflections you are having. We look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Thanks for watching this and have a happy learning. See you soon.